anyway, this is a fun recipe. It's a really just, I don't know, colorful, delicious, big batch of a Southwest pasta salad. My husband Bob loves pasta salads. And it's something that on a Sunday, if I've got some time, I make, if I'm making, this happens to have chicken in it, so I'm making, if I'm making chicken, I'll make a few extra pieces, and then I'll make a big pasta salad, and then he's got it to munch on all week long for lunch, or it even makes a really nice light dinner. Great for a ladies' luncheon. It's bold, but don't worry, it's not really spicy. And it's cute because we're using the bow tie pasta. I'm just going to get that into our boiling water. But any type of like a penne pasta would work, rotini would work, a ziti. So we're going to get about a pound in there. This makes a nice big batch, so full box, and then a little bit of salt. We'll season that water, which you always have to do when you're making pasta. Throw a little salt in there, and I'm going to get to work on the dressing. I think pasta salads can get a little boring, and we've all had that pasta salad that just wasn't so great, wasn't really even worth eating. So I'm always looking for new, different, fun pasta salad recipes that I'm putting together. And I like to start with a homemade dressing. I think it makes all the difference in the world, and it's so easy to do. This one, being that it's a Southwest pasta salad, is going to start with some lime juice. And just pulled these out of the fridge, and they're kind of hard as a rock. So I'm going to get them, and that means they're going to be a little hard to juice. So I'm going to throw them in the microwave for, 15 seconds or so, and that'll help release the juices. I've also got some fresh garlic that's going to go into the dressing, just 2 cloves, and I do want to make sure that that's one just didn't want to get in there. You're getting in, sorry. I really want to make sure that's chopped up fine because I don't want anybody to get big pieces of garlic in the dressing. So just to mince that up really well. So this is going to be a hit at, if you've got to bring a dish to pass for a potluck, something a little different. Really pretty with lots of great colors going on too. All right, garlic looks good. We'll go ahead and get that in there. Certainly smells good. Our limes are done. The recipe calls for about 1/4 cup of lime juice, so we'll see how much one of these limes releases and see if we need more. This happens to be a big one, so I think this one ought to do it. Well, maybe 2. I think we'll do 2. We'll be bold and we'll do 2. I'm going to get that. One of my favorite ways to juice a lime is we've got this great little gadget, just a wooden little deal here, and it really helps get all the juice out of that lime. Yeah, actually, now I think we won't need the other lime. So about 1/4 cup again. There we go. Make sure we got every little bit out of this one too. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to do, besides the lime juice, 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar. And again, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. This is going to be more mild than your, white distilled vinegar that you wash the floors with. And it's one of the vinegars that I have on hand in my pantry at all times, or I try to. When I run out, I make sure and buy more. It's really great for homemade salad dressings. And I talk about this all the time on the show and when I go out and about and do cooking demos, that once you get into the swing of making homemade dressings, it's just such a breeze. You just basically collect different vinegars and different oils. And on my pantry at home, in my pantry, I actually have a section for oils, a section for vinegars, and then, vinegars like apple cider vinegar, that white wine vinegar we just talked about, white distilled vinegar is great in a lot of coleslaws, balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, and then you can, collect some of the fancier vinegars when you go to the specialty food shops too. So, once you start doing that, you're really, got the oils, got the vinegars, you got everything you need to make great homemade salad dressings. We've got, quite a bit of acid in here with the lime juice and the white wine vinegar, so we're going to do 2 teaspoons of sugar, which is going to kind of balance it out. Don't worry, it's not going to be a sweet taste at all. A little bit of cumin, which again is going to give that great Southwest flavor, and a little bit of chili powder. A little bit of salt. And I always start with the acids and then add the oil. So I'm going to whisk this together. smells really yummy. Now we're going to do our oil. In this case, we're using a light olive oil. A canola oil or vegetable oil would also work. I'm just going to whisk this. A lot of times, you know me, I like to shake up dressings into a jar, so you could also shake it up into like a ball canning jar or a cleaned out pickle jar. You see how that's starting to thicken up a little bit? The jar will do the same thing when you shake it. And this way it's going to, in this case, stick to the pasta, coat the pasta really well. But if you were doing this, which this dressing would be wonderful just on, you know, some mixed greens with some of the ingredients we're going to do, it's going to coat the greens really well. So dressing is done. There you go, Miss Ann, and it's that easy. All right, now I'm going to get to work on just some of the other ingredients that we're going to throw into this pasta salad. I've got 1 can of black beans. I'm always trying to get beans into more of my recipes because they're really good for you. And at first, my kids were not big fans. In fact, whenever I'd make chili, they'd pick out every little bean in the chili. And now, after a while, they've gotten used to it, and they actually both really like beans. So, you know, if you can throw beans in salads and in soups and stews, just adds another layer of protein. In this case, I really want to drain and rinse these beans. I don't want any of that liquid get into my nice pasta salad. Give that to Ann. We can recycle that later. All right, we'll let our beans just hang out there for a minute and drain. I'm going to start chopping up some of the other ingredients. We've also got a cup of corn. This happens to be just frozen corn that we didn't need to even cook. We just pulled it out of the freezer and let it thaw. Got some cherry or some grape tomatoes, and I'm just going to cut those in half, or just seeded diced tomatoes work fine too. So you can see that we've got a lot of color going on here, and that's going to make the salad just really gorgeous. Some pasta salads just kind of don't look all that great, and I just kind of skip those when I see those, and this is going to be, people are going to come right to it because it's got so much going on and it's so gorgeous. If you bring this salad, they're going to be asking for the recipe, I think. I know. All right, I'll just cut up a couple more of these. About 2 cups is what we're looking for. I think that these cherry and grape tomatoes really hold up well if you're going to be making these ahead. They look really pretty in a lot of the salads that we're going to be doing, that you do, rather than the diced seeded tomatoes. Now, if it's summer and, you know, those are gorgeous and you've got tons of them in your garden, the diced seeded tomatoes will work just fine. But in pasta salads, like I say, these really, you know, keep their shape and they look gorgeous. I've got some scallion. Add that hint of onion flavor. We'll use the greens and the whites. And then I've got some yellow pepper. Yellow or red pepper, I love. They're really both really good for you. Orange pepper would be fine too. It's going to add some crunch and again some more gorgeous color to the salad. All right. We'll just do about half of this pepper. So you can see already, we don't even have it together, but it's really pretty. A lot going on. And the dressing is going to really wow everybody. They're not going to be expecting that, I don't think. The lime and we'll do some cilantro in here too. I happen to love cilantro. It's that great. This is a Southwest pasta salad, so you know cilantro is very much that great Southwest flavor. If you don't like it, you could certainly just use flat leaf parsley. Some people just don't do cilantro at all. I get it. I happen to be a huge fan. But if you don't, just leave it out. Not a huge deal. And then we happen to have, now this is optional. You can keep this salad completely just veggies and nice and light, but I love to, like I said, make it a little more hearty so that it could be a dinner, or it actually, you know, it's got some protein in here. So we've got some just extra chicken, or you can pick up rotisserie chicken and use that. Festival actually has pre-grilled chicken breasts right in their deli. So you could swing by there and pick that up, and you can just, cut this into, dice it up, 1 to 2 chicken breasts into little pieces or strips, and then you've got, just one more layer to your salad. Shrimp would be also fantastic in the salad. Shrimp or chicken, or you can leave it out altogether. All right, I get to work on draining my pasta, and then we'll start putting this whole thing together. All right, we're going to take our tomatoes and our scallions. Save a little bit of that cilantro just for the top to decorate it. Our chicken. Pasta salads, I think, are best eaten within a couple hours of making them. If you do happen to make this the night before, you've got people over, do the old dressing check. This actually makes a nice big batch of dressing, so you should be just fine. But you can always add a little more oil, a little more lime juice just to freshen it up. Pasta, especially if it's refrigerated overnight, tends to really soak up the dressing, and you don't want that, pasta salad real dry. That's no good. You want it, if you're using a mayo-based dressing, nice and creamy. In this case, we want to, have the pasta and everything coated with this vinaigrette. Now, normally you'd let this cool. I'm just going to run some cool water over it. Just to speed up the process here. Really drain that well. We don't want that water going in. And it's about showtime here. Get our pasta in. Big spoon. Oh, almost forgot our corn. So lots of fun flavors going on here. How gorgeous is this? And really healthy. But you're not going to be, starving after you eat a nice portion of this. So, got a pretty bowl to put this in. Or in my case, I just, pack a bunch of containers of this and keep them in the fridge so people can grab them if they're heading out the door. Avocado would really be nice in this. If you were going to do the avocado, I wouldn't put that in until right before serving so that it'd stay nice and green. I'll put a little cilantro on the top. So there you go. It's my Southwest pasta salad. Recipe's on the website. You can also pick it up at any area Festival Foods. Really bold, but light and delicious.